I am going to walk you through a LanGraph agent, and we're calling it LanGraph agent with helpfulness and a loop limit check. So this is really a walkthrough to understand how to set up LanGraph, and this has been a great learning experience for me personally. So the goal of this particular graph is to understand two things. First, we're going to add an artificial limit on how many loops the agent can go through. This prevents the potential situation where we get stuck in an endless cycle, which could rack up cost and waste time. Second, we're enhancing our conditional edge to include a helpfulness evaluation. The agent will actually check its own response quality before deciding whether to continue and the process. So let's go through the setup. First, here in this cell, you see I set up two tools, my tool belt. One is Tavily, the search tool, and RZIP, the research archive tool. Next, I am setting up my ChatGPT nano model, temperature setting to 0 to make the output more deterministic or as much deterministic as it can be. And then I'm binding my tools to the model. And then next, I am creating two nodes. One is the call model node, which is essentially when invoked, calls our ChatGPT model to do what it has to do, is go through the process of creating an output. And our tool node, which is the two tools that we have, and it executes the functionality of those two tools. And then we defined our agent state. Here, this is a typed dictionary with messages that get appended using the add message function. The clever part is here we don't need to add any extra states in order to track our loops. We can just simply check the length of the annotated list. All right, now we can set up our graph. So what we start with is we initiate our agent state of our graph. Agent state is used as the schema, defines how the data flows through the graph and keeps record. And then we add our first agent node, which is the call model. This handles LLM interaction. Purpose is to get user query, decide on what to do next, decide which tools to use, and if we select tools to use or if we want to generate a response. And then I am adding my tool node, the action node, which executes tool calls, gathers results from the tools, and returns the tool output to the agent for further actions. So once I have included my nodes in my graph, what I do is start now putting together my edges. So here the entry point is agent. The first thing is anytime the model is called or the model is initiated, first thing that happens is the agent is called. And before all that, one more, I am going to walk you through the conditional function that is getting created. What does this agent do at the entry point? So it really has three paths. If message has tool call, return action, go and to those tools and do what the tools have to do and get the output, send it back to agent. If the loop between agent and action went through more than 10 times, stop, because we don't want to be stuck in an infinite loop. And then we have an early end logic where we are adding this helpfulness logic. It is what's essentially the agent is checking its answers again to itself to make sure that the answer it generated is actually helpful. And that's what's happening here. And if it's helpful, great, and generate the final output. If it's not, continue and go through the loop. So essentially, what now we're going to do is add this conditional edge where the agent when the agent is initiated, it will call the tool call or helpful, this function right here. And it has three tags. It will either continue and loop through the agent to tool process, or it will take an action, which is to call tools, or either one of the tools or both of the tools in parallel, or it will end the loop and generate a message. And here I add my edge after the agent. It goes through action, and then it goes through agent and loop, and then here I am compiling my graph. And this is the process of validating, make sure the graph is executable. And here is it's not working. I had a little, let's see if I can generate here again. Okay, here you go. So here you can see how the graph works. Once the model is called, the agent is initiated, and then the agent has three paths, whether to take an action, which is the tools, or whether to end the message because it has enough information or doesn't, or to make a final conclusion, or it decides to continue and loop through the agent and go through the process again. And here is my, let's see, I am going to go through it looks like my